for the audio purposes.
Yeah.
All right, I just tweeted if you want to retweet that. I tagged you
All
or
right.
I added you.
How long you been doing these podcasts?
Bro, I started this podcast literally like in 2016.
Oh shit, for
But
real?
yeah, I was literally like the first like COD podcast. I'm a grown ass man. I just never had time to be consistent with it. Like I've interviewed, I interviewed Haggy, Standy before anybody knew who the hell Standy was.
Yeah.
Fire. I've interviewed a lot of people. Just yeah, I just haven't stayed. I haven't stayed consistent with it because I'm just always busy with real life shit. But now I got free time, so I'm like trying to do at least like an episode or two a week. So all
That's
right,
cool.
all right. Now I'm
Uh,
gonna start. I'm gonna start now for like audio purpose. All right, ready?
yep.
Three, two, one. Mic check, mic check. What is going on, TryHard Podcast listeners? It's your boy Garza. I'm back. 2 episodes in 1 week. Hope you guys are impressed. All right, because I'm impressed with myself. Listen, today we got an interview. All right, you guys know I try to keep this shit fresh for you guys. I try to give you guys, bring people in from the AM scene who have good stories or players or people who are just grinding, man. All right, so today we got at Logan Prod on Twitter. Go ahead and follow him, or he goes by the name Prodigy. A lot of you guys who follow the local scene, attend locals, compete at locals. You guys know who he is. He's since I've been involved in the local scene, I've seen him back and forth at different LAN events. But we got him here today because his team they had a pretty impressive run this past week in the Challenger Cup. Then they finished top 8, I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
beat and most importantly, they beat some of the top amateur teams in Call of Duty. So people are talking, people are having their little opinions. So you know how I am. I like to go to the horse and hear from the horse's mouth. I don't want to hear secondhand knowledge. So we got your boy here today. What's going on, Prodigy? How you doing, bro?
What's up, man? I'm doing pretty good today. Actually, it's been a good day. It's been a crazy weekend for me, and it's nice to take today off. It's been a nice chill day.
So
How about you, man? How you been?
I'm going good. I've been having some Twitter beef with certain people on the timeline. So today has been a great,
Yeah, I
great,
saw your
yeah,
interview this
great,
morning, your video.
yeah. It's been a weird day, but yeah. Let's talk about how. Let's talk a little bit more about you before we get into the juicy shit. How long you been competing in COD?
Well, I started when I really got into COD was Call of Duty Ghosts is one of the first like online COD I was able to get, and then but I didn't start doing like GBs and even thinking about going pro until like Black Ops 3. That's when I was doing like GBs and just playing like league play. But BO4 is when I really started competing. That's when I went to my first local, and that's when I really started like chasing the dream of becoming a pro. So I'd say BO4 is when I started competing.
um, so you started, yeah. So you've been, you've had a couple years in the scene now. Um, how do you feel about the current Call of Duty run? How do you feel about Vanguard?
Um, Honestly, I mean, I'm very mixed about it. I think, um, I don't know, like it's hard to say, man. It's not. It's been a rough start to the game so far. I will say that we don't have league play yet. All the accusations going on. Um, the four only having four hardpoint maps, only having two control maps, and then I don't know how people feel about Gabutu, but I feel like Gabutu as a control map's not a great map. So um, and then we didn't have an expansion this year that I thought we were going to get. And then they're already talking about um, a new game coming out before they even fix their game completely. So it's been a rough start, but I'm still optimistic about COD. And with Microsoft buying Activision, I'm I'm interested to see how that goes. So, I mean, I still have, hope for COD, but it's not looking too great right now.
Yeah, true, true. Have you been watching any of the pro matches and stuff? What do you think? How do you think the
Yeah,
CDL's
yeah, I
doing?
was able to. I didn't get to watch too many because of the Cup we played this weekend, but I got to see some of the matches early on Saturday. I got to see Optic play. Uh, who was the last team they just lost to round 11, map 5?
Was it Minnesota? Pretty sure. Wasn't it?
Um,
Wasn't it Roker?
it might have been. It might have been.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
exactly remember, but I remember I watched that game, and then I watched FaZe play when they won 3-1. Those
Who
are only 2 games I got to watch live.
who's the team that you're like that's like you root for like your favorite team?
Surge, Seattle
Surge.
Surge, man. Yes.
Listen, people. I don't think people understand that Surge team. Not only are they nasty, but they got players on there that are like personalities. Like
Yeah.
they literally if they do it right, they could easily be in the conversation as like a fan favorite team with actual fans. Because if you're
100%.
if you're not Optic or you're not Phase, no one fucking you don't have fans. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? If you're
Yeah,
not
I
one
mean,
of those
like you
two,
have a small base, but it's nothing compared to those two teams.
yeah. But Seattle, and I've noticed this, Seattle is like people who aren't from that area are like liking that team just because it's a bunch of young guys with personality. They're disgusting. I don't
hmm
know. And and
My
and in
my
my
favorite thing about them is
huh,
that because I've played Civ and Mac several times on LAN, and
exactly, yeah,
I've always been like, man, these kids are, they're just so naturally good at the game, and
yeah,
it's always like, I always have a great time playing against them because they're such good players, and to see them go pro and beat FaZe, their debut, some of their first season, it's crazy to me to see they're the top 3 rankings right now.
yeah. That's definitely that's if you're a challenger player, you should be a fan of Seattle Surge because that's what your ultimate like
Yeah,
goal your ultimate goal is what they're doing. Like
I feel like that team represents the challengers right now.
literally, that's literally what it does. So that's what I'm saying. It's so crazy that like that if they do it right, if they start releasing some content, the players keep on frying, they keep winning. Yo, they could literally like they could by the end of the year, even if they don't win like a shitload of events, just the fact that there are a bunch of challenger players competing at the highest level and winning, they literally could turn it around and have a crazy amount of fans, which is insane because Seattle the last couple of years has been getting fucking put into the
Yeah, they
dirt, you
haven't
know.
been the best team the past few years. Not
Yeah,
the worst, you know.
yeah, it's exciting, exactly, and I'm not surprised that that's a team that you're rooting for. So let's talk about a little bit more about your as far as your competitive career so far. Um, have you won some land events? Have you gone to like how many lands have you gone to in your
Um, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how many I've went to. It's definitely been like around 20ish, maybe more, maybe a little under. But I think I've won 8.
you've won
But
8?
yeah, I've won 8.
Oh damn! So yeah, you're and
Yeah, but
where are you from?
I'm from Virginia.
Oh, so you pretty much you try to go as many like pretty much everywhere because Virginia doesn't have a huge land area, do they?
The only big lands, the SoCal, the one in California, and then I have never been to like a NJ Rod.
Oh yeah, yeah. And J Rods, yeah, those are like legendary. I don't think they do them anymore, do they? I'm pretty sure they don't.
They don't.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So, yeah, so like I said in the beginning, you're somebody that I've seen around. I've heard your name before. So, like when let's talk about a little bit about this past weekend's cup. That team that you had, were you guys like a team for a while, or was it a pickup team? Or tell me a little bit how that team got together.
Um, well, for the past few weeks, I haven't really been on a team. There was no cups, and then I didn't find an elite team, so I was kind of just a free agent for a few weeks playing the game, kind of just focusing on school a little bit. And then I knew the cup was coming up, so I was like, hey man, I got to get a team. So actually earlier this week, I was still teamless, and then like Wednesday or Thursday, I had got with a team, played with them for about a day and a half, and then that team didn't work out. Then I played with another team on Friday, And then I was like, I guess I'm gonna run with these guys. But then Husk was like, hey, I'm a free agent, man. And I was like, hell yeah! Like I've always thought this guy was good. And then I scrimmed with him earlier this year, and I thought he played phenomenal when I played with him earlier. So I was like, hey man, this is. So I told my team, I was like, hey, I got this guy Husk. He wants to be, he wants to play. Like, can we drop someone or um, do you want to try to do something with that? But anyway, I was just telling him I wanted to team with them, and if they didn't want him on the team, that's cool. I'm gonna go team of two. So then he hit me up. He was like, all right, let's tweet team of two. And I was like, all right, that's cool. Like, you got any options? And then he had said, hey, Chloe said he'd be down to team of three. And I was like, when I heard Chloe's name, I was like, hell yeah, I'm down. Team of three. Let's tweet like right now. Let's get a team right now. And this was like, it was like 7, 8 o'clock Friday. No, it was like about 6 o'clock Friday, the day before the cup. And then Chloe was like, oh, I didn't know you guys needed a fourth. I got this guy, Fishity. I vouched for him. And I was like, cool, bet, get him in the call. He said he's man AR. And I was like, even better, I want to run flex. And we did that. We ran a scrim. We played pro points all night. We were just playing different maps, just kind of playing the game together for a few hours. And then woke up for the cup.
So, how much practice time did you guys get together? Like, did you guys get a couple weeks, a couple days? Like, how much?
No, well, I've teamed with Chloe in the past. I've teamed with him early in this year, so we already had a little bit of chemistry. I knew who Chloe was as a person, and I've seen him compete this year, so I've seen him compete, and I know his personality, and I've teamed with him before, and I was like, he's a great teammate, great player, love playing with the guy, and he has points. Like, I want him on my team. And then like I said, I scrimmed with Husk earlier this year, and I thought he was really gross when we scrimmed. And then I've teamed with him in previous CODs, and I've always enjoyed him as a teammate. And then Chloe recommended Fishity. So no, as that four, like the team that played Saturday, we had maybe like 2-3 hours, and then we played a scrim before the cup. So I mean, we had like 3-4 hours of like actual time together.
Now, in that short amount of time, did you think like, hey, we might be like a legit squad, or how,
100%.
how did the team
Well,
feel? How did the team feel?
as soon as I heard that I was gonna be able to team with Husk and Chloe, I'd already been like, this right here, this is the fucking team I've been waiting for. I was like, this is the team that if we stick, I know this will be a potential like God squad. We just got to get that good fourth. And I didn't know who Fish was. I knew of him, but I've never played with him as much. Or I've seen him play a little bit, but didn't really know him. But Chloe was vouching for him. I was like, all right, cool, let's get him on the team. And then after like we didn't play, we scrimmed someone and then did pro points, and like it wasn't really any great practice. We didn't play anyone, good. We didn't really get to do a tournament or anything. But just in that short amount of time with those guys, I could hear just how passionate they were about winning. And like, even though we had not the greatest scrim and we just had pro points, we were still going hard in those matches, just trying to get, like, even if we only had 2 hours together, like a good quality 2 hours, just to see what's our good maps, what maps are we not good at, what are we going to veto, what are we trying to play, and just figure out like what we got to do to win as many games tomorrow. We're not worried about fixing every small thing. We're worried about focusing on our strengths and hoping that we can play people to our strengths. And I think that's exactly what we did Saturday.
So now let's talk about the cup. So you guys wake up, you're just like everyone else. You guys are excited. You're pumped up. Your first match. Do you remember who you played your first match?
Let's see. No, we didn't play. It's never like when the first matches. It's not like, oh, we're playing nobodies. It's just I didn't know who we were playing. It was just a warm up game, and then.
And how did that go? Did you guys beat them pretty easily, or?
Yeah, it was a nice warm up. I mean, like we had it. Like I said, we had a scrim beforehand. On Saturday, we got to play a little bit. It wasn't too long. I can't exactly remember when. And then we were obviously all up 10:30 doing our own thing. So I mean, we were warmed up, but we were still warming up as a team together. When we first started playing at 12. But yeah, that went pretty smoothly. It was just more of like, all right, cool. That went well. Like, let's get pumped for the next match. Let's go.
How many? So you won the first round. Second round was the same type of thing. Was it a decent team this time, or how did that go?
It was the same thing. I'm sorry, whoever played us round two. I don't exactly remember who we played round two, but I'm pretty sure that was the points round. But whoever we played up until 5 or 40 in them, I didn't really know who we played.
So the first big team that you guys played was Fire and Zap and those guys.
Yeah, for the top 32. Yeah.
So that's when I heard about your guy. When that's when I started hearing about your guys' run because I seen Fire tweet out that they had just lost, and and no offense to those guys, I wasn't like that surprised because they've been struggling a little bit the last couple. They've been
Yeah.
struggling since the elite, which is weird because they qualified for the elite, but they didn't even drop a map. Then they get into the elite and they couldn't even win a fucking series. So
Yeah.
I could tell they were struggling a little bit. So I wasn't like
Hmm.
shocked that they lost.
Hmm.
So then I seen that it was you guys who beat them. So I'm like, all right, well, let's see how far they go. Right? I love those type of like it's almost like a Cinderella story, damn near, right?
Yes, that's what I've been
Yeah.
saying.
So you guys beat Fire 40, Zat Wester. That's pretty much what it is. And
Yeah.
then who do you guys play next?
Then we played Blake Dazzle and his team for top 16.
And how did that match go? Was that a close
Um,
match or?
well, after we played 540 in them, now we weren't like, oh, Blake Dazzle and them are shit, right? But we were like, we just beat 540 and his team. Like this next team, if we play the same way we just did, come out hot, like it should be a good game. But we're gonna come out easy, 3-0, maybe 3-1. Should
And
be an easy game.
and you guys won what? What was the match count?
3-0.
3-0. So it was.
Yeah.
So now you guys have momentum. You're
But it was
feeling
a good
good.
game. It was still
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
game.
You guys are feeling good. You guys just beat one of the top amateur teams in COD. So now you're seeing, all right, we have something going. We can do something here. At this point, no one's really saying nothing on social media. I know Fire and his teammates are like just they were pissed, obviously because they lost, right?
Yeah.
Um, and to be fair to them they thought they lost to a bunch of nobodies, right?
Yeah.
Now at this point, are you seeing anything on Twitter like people like chirping a little bit, or it's just like are you just ignoring all that shit and just going? I mean,
Um, at that moment,
eye in the prize.
I wasn't really on Twitter. I mean, I had a few people in the stream that were my close supporters, and they were like, cheer me on because they saw us go map 5 with Fire. So I got a bit of a viewer thing from that match, like viewers from that match. But no, I hadn't really seen anything on Twitter until after we beat Fire, and then I forgot what he said, but he had said something like, "Oh," or I can't remember. It was him or Frosty or somebody said we need like an anti cheat or something, and I was just like, oh, that's funny, but I was like, it's whatever, like it happens, I guess. And then and then we played our T16 match, and everyone was like, oh yeah, like these guys just beat 540, like then they just beat Blake. So at that time, no, I hadn't really seen anything other than like, let's go, like I knew you guys could fucking do it, like good shit.
And then after you beat that Blake and Co team, then you play Spartan Mohawk, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Which now it's getting now it's like, all right, now you're playing pretty much the defending amateur champs
yeah.
from last year, right?
Hmm.
And and I mean the magnitude of that match is you're playing, let's say there is expansion next year with the CDL, you're playing the favorites as far as a roster that has a good chance of being a pro team starting next year, right?
Yeah.
So, what was your guys' mindset going into that match? Like, what were you guys thinking?
Um, well, I mean, like, I don't exactly know what the other three were thinking. We had said it a little bit, but I knew to me, I was like, listen, man, we're top 16 right now, bro. It's like we've already beat 540, and then we just beat these other guys pretty convincingly, bro. Like, I was like, let's come in here, let's fucking play hard as fuck. I was like, this is a really good team, probably one of the best teams, if not the best team. And I was like, I know all these guys are fucking nasty as fuck. I was like, let's just go in here and prove to everybody that's watching our stream or their stream or these guys that, hey, that we can compete, man. Like, we're going to go in here. We have nothing to fucking lose. We've already made it this far. Like, let's go in there and let's just give it our all, man. Like, let's just go in there and just try to play our hardest.
Now, before the match started, did Mohawk or anything guys reach out to you guys and say, "Hey, can you guys monitor cam? Can you got any of that type of shit?"
No. And nobody had been streaming. It was just me, and then nobody said anything. The only thing that was said was after we beat Fire and them the first, or no, I'm sorry, after they beat us the first map, Fire, the second map it took Fire a bit to join up, and I was like, what's taking him so long? And I noticed him in my stream, and I was like, oh, like this guy's like looking at it on my stream or some shit. And then someone was like, oh, he probably thinks you're hacking or some shit. And then he came in game chat and was like, I don't think you're cheating, or like nobody thinks you're cheating, bro. But other than that, no, no one had reached out to me or anything.
All right, now let's break down the upset of Spartan Mohawk. First map, how did the first map go?
Man, I don't. It was crazy because the first map to me it really like it didn't hit me as soon as we started playing. Like I went from all right, man, like we're about to play one of the best fucking teams. Like let's go, and I'm gonna go crazy. But as soon as like the match started, we went in. It was crazy. It just like I locked in, and it just felt like another game. But it was a really good game, and I mean, I was playing hard, and I wasn't really looking at the score too much because, sometimes when you're playing those teams, and when you look at the score and you see you're down by 100, 150, you're like, damn, this is a good team. I'm just going to, keep doing my best regardless of what happens and try to do my best to show that I didn't get absolutely shit on. Or, you're still trying to push through and it's just not working. So I didn't really try to focus on the score. But then towards the end of the game, I was like, man, like what the, like I look down and it's 200, 200. And I remember it was the P5 to P1 rotation. And I was like, guys, we cannot fuck up this rotation. I was like, if we hold this, like, we can win this next fucking hill. And it was just a crazy match. And then the ending, it was, oh my God, it was such a surreal feeling once we won map 1.
So after you win map 1, then you guys are like, all right, we can do this. We can beat.
Yeah, man. We're like, wait a minute,
we can
bro.
bet
Like,
the best
no,
team.
bro. We can dead ass do this, bro. Like, let's tee the fuck up, bro. Like, we have our good maps. These are the maps we wanted, bro. This is exactly what we were going to play them in our strengths, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to go out there and we're going to fucking tee the fuck up for these next 2 maps, or next 4 maps, whatever, bro. And we're going to go out there and we're going to fucking do what we just did, and we're going to keep this fucking snowball going, this momentum. They don't think they're going to they think they're going to beat us easy. Nah, man. We're going to come in there. We're going to give them 110%. That's what we did.
So after you guys beat them, do they at all reach out to you guys? Hey, can you guys monitor cam or blah blah blah? Anything?
No. After map 1, not that I know of, or not that I remember. No one ever reached out to me. I know that there was a few people. I know there was a lot of people on my stream at that point, about 200-300 people, and I know there was a bunch of people saying, "Hey, like, that's when shit started getting kind of excuse my language. I don't know if I can curse on the podcast or not.
No,
but
you can curse all you want. Go ahead. I curse.
Cool. I'd see some stuff in the chat like, oh, this guy's hacking, or oh, man, this guy's off Addy, or I was just seeing like a bunch of support, like holy, but then I saw those few things saying like, oh, this guy's hacking, or where's the monitor cam, or stuff like that. But it wasn't really getting to me at that point, and I still only had like 200-ish, 300-ish viewers at that point.
At that point, did you like? Okay, you got people in your stream. Is anything happening? Are you dropping crazy numbers for them to even think that you're possibly hacking? Or
well, so map 1, that after that, I mean, I personally had, I think that was probably my best map the whole weekend. Was the first map we played against Cheese and them. I had 2 minutes in time, and I was almost double pause, and then I was on like an 80 to 100 ping. And after the game, you can even hear me. I'm like, look at me, like, I've like that game. I felt like that's where to me, that was my biggest moment to really prove to everybody that I have what it takes to compete. But no, like no one had really said anything about me at that moment, other than a few people on my stream were like, hey, yo, these guys are kind of sus, but no one had started really accusing individual players on the team until after we beat them 3-0.
So you win the first map. Second map, how did that go? Was it the S&D?
Yeah, the Tuscan S&D, which was once again our best map. And then so how that went, I don't even exactly remember how the beginning rounds went. I remember I was like, okay, we just played this against 540 and we dominated on the map. Like, let's do the same shit and let's see how they react to it, and let's adapt to what they do to our shit that's working. So first, I know we're coming off, some of our stuff's working. So we're kind of scuffing a few of the early rounds, and then we go down. I think it's like 2-4, and I'm like, all right, bro, listen here, bro. Like like what we're doing is not working. Like, listen the fuck up. Here's what we're gonna start doing. And then so made a few play calls. Those next 2 rounds, we got it 4-4. And we're like, all right, bro, like we got the game fucking tied again. All right, they're gonna adapt to what we just did. Let's do what we just did, but let's just not fuck it up, bro. Like it's working. Let's keep doing what we're doing. And it kept working. And then I remember we had lost one of the rounds, and we were like, like we iced the fuck up. Like let's do this shit. And then just round 11, that's just what we did. And I remember Husk had he had like I think a 1v2 one of the rounds, or we had a few clutches some rounds. So there's a few crazy rounds.
Now, as far as your guys' strategy, were you guys just kind of winging it what you were doing, or did you have kind of
Well,
strats?
we had played Tuscan Search. We had already played that. We had already played that twice that day, maybe 3 times in one of the early rounds. I don't really remember that, but we'd used the strats that we'd used earlier, and we went with those. It was kind of default ones, like the ones you usually see in a CDL match, and we would use those and see if they work or wouldn't work. And then if like we were like, okay, like this is what we need to do to fix what we just did. Like one of them, I would have like Fishity slide across top church, but he had a Volk, or no, I would slide for Fishity, and I'd be like, yo, Fishity chow for me. But since he had a Volk, he would usually lose the gunfight if they got against the other guy. So we would use that and be like, all right, so we're gonna do that again, but we're gonna have Fishity slide, and then I'll chow with my auto. So we were just kind of doing that the whole day and the night before. Like I said, we were trying to we had very little time together. So every time we had together, we were quality practice, getting better. Even during the cup, we were still improving and adapting our strengths and getting better at what we and getting better as a team.
So you guys go 2-0. You guys go up on them 2-0?
Yeah, we go up
Okay.
2-0. And at that point, I'm like, holy shit. Like, we were up against 2-0 against one of the best fucking teams in the AM scene, if not the best team. Some of my favorite AM players. Like, we are doing this shit right now. We're doing this in front of 400 people. All eyes are on us. Everybody's watching us, like, fucking compete and win. And I'm just so proud of us at this point.
Now you go to map 3, which would be the control. What was it? What was the control map?
It was Tuscan control.
So you guys did, and Tuscan was your guys' like favorite map, right?
Yeah, that was once again our favorite out of the two.
So you guys, this entire series, you guys are kind of lucking out with the map choice, right?
We had just played the exact same map set the series before for T16. That was a 3-0. We just came off really hot on those maps, and we were like, all right, let's get these same maps again if we can. And we did, and we just played those maps the exact same way.
So you go to that map 3. Do you guys win that?
Yeah, we do. We win 3-0.
So at that point, you 3-0. Arguably, I mean, that's, in my eyes, that's probably going to be, if expansion does happen, that'll probably be a pro team in my eyes.
Yeah, like I said, one of the best teams, if not the best team in the Challengers right now.
So you guys beat them. You just 3-0 them. After you 3-0 them, like what's your guys' reaction?
That was the craziest moment ever. Like that moment was like so surreal. Like that moment, like I remember I had Stuggy like right beside me, and like I looked in and I was like, holy shit, dude. Like it was crazy. It was like so unreal. I remember like right after like talking to Stug a little bit, I was like, hold up, gotta mute the stream, gotta call my mom. I was like, gotta tell her what the fuck's going on another Saturday.
Now, so you beat them. That was for what, T16 or T8?
No, that was top 8. That was to go to Sunday.
That was top 8. That was to qualify for. That was to make it to the next day. So you guys just qualified for Sunday. You made it to the next day. You just beat one of the top, if not the top, amateur team. After that, that's kind of when shit starts picking up as far as like people getting salty, people kind of you see, your guys' situation is so weird because whenever we have these situations where it's accusations or whatever you want to call it, there's usually some kind of a video, a clip, or something, something to kind of get the conversation going. Was there anything that came out, any clips, anything that would be considered suspect against you guys?
Hang on one second. I hadn't seen any from my stream. I know while we were playing Mohawk and them, Censor was in the chat. He was asking like, "Hey, why is your like VOD on sub only mode? And I did that because before we had played our T16 match, we had played Tuscan Search, and we were like, hey, we just got the same maps. Let's hurry up and put the VOD on sub mode, so just in case they were watching or if they're doing anything, like they can't see what we just did because we're gonna play the map the exact same way. And just so we did that, and then I'd put it back on public once Sensor was like, oh, I'll put it on sub mode. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that since people are already accusing.
Now, okay. So he brings that up. Is you guys just did what you did. You're obviously on cloud nine. You're excited. You're happy. You guys. This is probably one of the biggest moments for your online COD career, right? To beat that level of team. Were you expecting any kind of like you know outrage, or were you expecting like in your mind where you're like, all right, either people are gonna say that's crazy what you guys just did, or we're gonna start getting accused. Did you expect any kind of like backlash from beating that team?
Well, I'd already had when we beat 540 them, I had already seen people tweeting like, "Oh, ever since like the online COD and how like there's no anti-cheat and just the typical like all 540 and their teams like fans were just like, oh, these guys fucking sus as fuck, but what can you do about it? So I'd
Yeah.
already seen some of that, so I'd already been like, okay, like we're gonna get some for that, but we shouldn't get too much for the T16 match because it's just it's not any like top AM team. So if we beat them, it's a good game. But then after we beat Spartan, then with 400 people watching, everybody was like, "All right, man, what the fuck is this? Like, you guys are a pickup team. You're beating this team. Like, that shit just doesn't happen all the time. Like that shouldn't be happening." So at that point, yeah, that's when everything started blowing up. That's when Twitter was blowing up. My stream was blowing up. That's when shit started hitting the fan.
And now at that point, did you okay? Because you're streaming here, right? You're streaming your matches. So clearly,
Yeah.
I mean, if let's say you were cheating, or you were hacking or whatever. If you're streaming and you're hacking, it's pretty ballsy. You know what I mean? Like if like that's that's kind of crazy. So you're the only one on your team, only one on your team streaming. Did you ever suspect or think that maybe, hey, obviously you're a competitor, and you're confident in your ability to do what you do, and when you compete, did you ever think like in your head like, all right, I'm confident, I know I'm not cheating. Could any of these guys be maybe cheating? Like, did that ever come into your head, or think about that at all?
No, not at the moment. Not at the exact. No, not at the exact moment when everyone was accusing us. I was like, "This is just what's gonna happen. Like, we just can't let it get to us. Like, this is just what happens every fucking time a good team beats a nobody's just, but a good team, but just not a lot of people know about, or just good players that nobody knows about, goes and upsets, a team like Yeez and Spartan Mohawk and ProLoot like that, and it and 3-0. Not they were still all close games, but in 3-0, it was like, hey, like no, these guys are fucking cheating. There's no way they just beat, these players. Like, who are these guys? These are nobodies. Like, look, they have no accolades. Like, who are they're nobodies. So at that point, no, I didn't think any of us were cheating. And I was just kind of like really just like trying to block out all the hate. I was like, this is just what's gonna happen. I just got to focus up, and we got to get ready for tomorrow. Like, we have a big day tomorrow. I didn't even know we had to play for top 6 that night.
So you had to play, you had to play for top six that night.
Yeah, we ended up. That was our first stream match. We had after we beat Yeez and them. We were celebrating. We were going through all the Twitter. I was still feeling euphoric. I was making phone calls. I was like telling all my OGs like, man, I'm fucking top 8 right now. Like, this is just what I did. I was talking to my some of my family and just kind of hanging out and then talking the stream a little bit and just kind of living in the moment. And then one of my teammates has been like, hey, like, yo, we still have a game later. So then we're all kind of like, what the fuck? Like, okay, that's like cool. Like, but like, damn, like, this is a long ass day of playing COD. And this had been like 20, 25 minutes. So I'm already kind of like, I just hit some push ups for stream. I just, I was screaming. I was getting kind of tired, but I was like, all right, cool. Like, bet, like, let's just take this momentum. Let's go into the next game. But then at that point, that's when everything, was blowing up. So at that point, it took us a long time to get the next game going, and then where we had to do all of our like PC resets and get all the streams going and stuff. It took a bit of time between the T8 to T6 match.
Yeah. So, who did you guys play for T6?
We played Jimbo and his team.
Okay, so it's Jimbo. I forgot his fucking team. Paul X, right?
Yeah.
So Paul X, Venom, Jimbo, and then I forgot who their other fourth is. So at that point, who asks you to PC reset and all that stuff?
I'm not exactly sure at that point. I just know that Twitter and like everyone had been like, "Hey man, we want some fucking streams out of your teammates." And my teammates were like, "All right, bet. Like we're gonna get monitor cams. We're gonna get streams set up." But then one of my teammates had said, "Hey, they want us to do PC resets and start monitor camming before the next match." And I was like, "Okay, I already knew we were gonna do that. Didn't expect the PC reset, but I was like, that's fine. Like that's expected as well." So we'd all got that done. I had Stucky record mine. And then everyone else had done theirs pretty quick.
So,
but it still took us a while to match.
Yeah. So now you guys are playing for this T6. You're asked to do all these things. You're asked to, to PC reset and pretty much monitor cam, right?
Yeah. And they said that they would too. That they would stream or monitor cam as well. Which I don't know if they did or not. I didn't check, but I didn't. I didn't doubt them, nor do I suspect them at all. So I was like, I don't care if you guys do, regardless or not.
Yeah.
Or don't.
So this is where it gets, and I think you probably understand how it looks, right? How the situation looks, and it doesn't. When you have a run like you guys had, right? And mind you, like I completely believe you when you're saying you guys are probably exhausted at that point. All that adrenaline, all that, and then you get done winning, right? You get done playing whoever you're playing. You get done beating Mohawk and Yeez and Spartan, those guys, right? And then you're just like, we you just did some crazy shit. You're excited. You're yelling. You're doing fucking push-ups on stream, and then you start calming down, and then we call that in training that MMA and Muay Thai stuff, call that an adrenaline dump, right? Yeah. All the adrenaline starts leaving your body, and you're just like you go into almost a relaxation mode, right?
Yeah, I'd already tweeted. I was like, I made it to Sunday. I was making all the calls. I was like, holy shit, top 8. Like I can't. Like this is crazy. Like I'm gonna have a chill night. I'm gonna get some sleep, and I'm gonna get ready for tomorrow. And then shortly after they were like, hey, now we gotta play another game tonight.
So you have that adrenaline dump, and now you gotta play another match, which you guys you thought in your head that we're on to Sunday. So not only you gotta play after just being after just having a crazy run, having that adrenaline dump, and on top of that, you're being asked to PC reset and monitor cam. All right, everybody in the team agreed. You guys PC reset, you monitor cammed, and then the match started. And you guys lost. You lost 0-3, right?
Yep.
0-3. So, and you're not an idiot. You know how that looks, right? You know, like what people are gonna say immediately. Oh, look, they were forced to monitor cam. They were forced to stream, and now they're forced to PC reset, and now they can't even win a map, right? After just beating Mohawk and Co 3-0, what was your obviously, like I said, you know how that looks. You can't really, no one can deny that. Like you know how it looks. Were you like in your head were you like, fuck, now people are for sure gonna think we're cheating?
Well, no, not at that moment. I hadn't said that. At the moment I was more like, fuck, like I'm like I thought we were gonna, go into this game with the momentum we just had, even though because I know me personally that after we'd won and we took that really long break, I was personally just drained and I had no more energy drink. I was just off, the adrenaline dump, whatever. And I'd already, got off the competitive mindset. And I was like, all right, I got to get ready for tomorrow. And they said, we're gonna play tonight. I was like, all right, time to regain, time to pull yourself back together and just, play exactly like you just did. And let's go in there and win the next match. And then at the moment I couldn't really tell if my other teammates were too tired or not, but afterwards, yeah, they said they were pretty exhausted before the match. And no, and then like once we had lost 3-0, it was more of just like, all right, you know what? That it happens, bro. Like, you guys just got put on the monitor cam. You guys, that was your first time monitor camming. You guys were just kind of nervous. We didn't, they just saw us win these the 3 maps, so we just won 3 games in a row. 32, 16, and top 8. They know we're good at those maps, and they have a better seed, so they're gonna obviously pick the maps we're not that good at. And that's what happened. I mean, they just beat us. And then I felt like we didn't play, entirely too differently, I don't think. But this, like I said, like those just weren't our strongest maps at the time. And then we were playing some of the strongest teams. So, and then on top of that, we were all pretty exhausted, or at least I know I was. So no, I at that point I hadn't really been like, fuck, we just got 3-0'd. Yeah, I was like, damn, that kind of looks bad, but I was like, that's fine because we still have tomorrow. We still have tomorrow to get ready tonight. Like, just chalk that up. It happens. Pros get shit on all the time. It's fine, whatever. Right? But we're gonna come in tomorrow. We're gonna come crazy. We're gonna get warmed up, and we're gonna go in this next game, and we're gonna show people that like this is legit. Like this isn't just some hoax or whatever.
So you lose that. Oh, you got to get 0-3'd. You get 3-0'd, and then you with all the things you had to do, PC resets, monitor cams. The next day comes. Who do you play right away? The next day.
The next day we played Diamond Khan and his team.
And were you guys asked to do the same exact thing, like PC
now?
reset?
The funny thing about that is that the next day, we'd woke up. We got a scrim. We were going to scrim one of the top teams, but they ended up getting another scrim or something that happened. And so we just got like some pickup team together of a bunch of people who were awake. So we had warmed up and did that. And we were like, okay, like fine. Like this is just something to warm up, to shoot our guns with. Didn't really get the warm up we wanted, but that's fine. Like it's okay. Like we know we're a good team. Let's just come crazy. So then we went into the match and it started, a little bit right after the start time of the tournament. It was like 12-10, 12-15, not too long after. We didn't really waste time getting into the match, but they had messaged us and was like, hey, I don't know. They didn't message me, and I forgot who they messaged. I think it might have been Relk because he was our like coach for that day or whatever. Like he was he was just the guy that people were messaging. So, but I think he was like, hey, like they're cool, like with us. We don't need a monitor cam, but they want us all to stream. But I think they'd only asked Fishity to monitor cam that game, if I'm not mistaken.
Why did they ask Fishity? Like, what was the reason for him having to be the only one the next day to have to do that?
Well, honestly, I don't know. At that point, I know Twitter had still been kind of generally accusing all of us, but as the day went on and we started playing more games, I think it was more focused towards Fishity on Saturday for some reason. I think everyone just because they saw his class and they were like, what the hell is this guy using, bro? He's not even using the auto. He's running around with a reflex sight, and they were calling it the nipple sight, and they were just like, who is this guy? Like, what is this guy doing? And I think a lot of people were just kind of like focusing him on Saturday. So they were like, all right, cool. Like we, I guess we don't think the other 3 are that sus, but we just want one out of the guy using the Volk.
Yeah, because his name kept on popping up as far as like the person they were really focusing on him. Like, so I was like waiting. I was like waiting for like some kind of video or something. I'm like, why is everybody focused on this guy? I don't. And no offense to him, I've never heard of him. I don't even know. I went on his Twitter. I seen that he plays in the CCL, right?
Yeah.
So he's a competitor. He competes. Like he's not just a guy who just picked up the fucking controller and then got the T6. He actually has a competitive background. He competes, CCL, challengers. Did you guys have a talk with him at all and ask him like, yo, why is everybody coming at you? Like do you have a past or what's the deal?
No, at that moment, like we were all just more of like no, like we all think, we all believe that this was a legit game. We're just like, this is what people do to players like us in moments like this. Like this is our moment to shine. This is our moment to represent everybody who is in the T64 cycle and shit. Like there is still like there's talent. It's just like sometimes it's hard to just really shine when you're not with other people who aren't as passionate or as good as you, and you're just like stuck in a really bad spot. And I was like, this is like, we're the fucking, like, we're that team right now, bro. We are the fucking people representing right now. And I was like, I don't know. I just thought that was our moment to shine. So we were like, no, like the 0-3, the 3-0, whatever you want to call it, was just a fluke, whatever. We're going to go this next game. We're not, don't let the monitor cams get to you. Don't let the streams get to you. Like, just show that these people, like, but nobody's hacking. We're going to go fucking try to win this cup.
Now, you guys end up losing again, right? You get 3-0 again?
Mm-hmm.
So you get 3-0 again.
Yeah.
Now, everyone, now that you guys are out of it, did it calm down as far as like people accusing you guys, or was it like how did that play out on social media for you guys?
No, no. I mean, a lot of people were kind of like, after we had lost 3-0 to Jimbo and them, they were like, you see what like happens when you monitor cam, and then we still had some people like, nah, like it was just a long day, but we had a lot of people like, nah, like they got shit on, they got 3-0, like you're gonna see that it's gonna happen again tomorrow. So so when we had 3-0 again, I think at that point that's when like we had lost most of the people that were like, maybe these guys, we're still supporting these guys, we want them to do great. Like, we don't think they're cheating. Like, it just happens. But then it happened twice in a row in the same fashion. And that's when the people who were like, they're cheating, they were like, no, they were definitely cheating, or someone was cheating. And then that's when they started really trying to get like dig down and figure out who did it. And then that's when like a bunch of like, the other like lower AMs, like the top 64s and up, were just kind of like, yeah, maybe this is looking a little sus. We're not gonna get into it. Maybe these guys might have been cheating, or maybe
But yeah, so and like I said, you can understand how it looks, right? You understand how the optics
Yeah.
look. It
Yeah.
looks weird. It looks suspect. It
Yeah.
does. Like we can't beat around the bush. It does. But to your guys' credit, you guys were asked to monitor cam. You monitor cam. You were asked to stream. You streamed the entire time, right?
Yeah. It was about a 10-hour stream. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like you guys were some nobodies who just didn't want to comply with the rules. And like I said, I didn't really see any. I didn't see no proof. You know what I mean? There's. Are there videos out there that I'm not aware of? Do you know?
Not that I know of. There was none taken in my stream. I know I saw some top AMs and just a bunch of like clips out of my stream that day, because I was the only one streaming and up until the T6 match. So there was just like a bunch of people watching my past broadcast trying to get clips. But I personally don't know or haven't seen or heard of any clips from my stream that were gotten. I think the only true like thing they're trying to say about Saturday and Sunday is that once we started monitor camming, we went from fucking phase or optic beaters, whatever, optic killers, phase killers, to just people who just got fucking 6-0'd, and it wasn't even close. Like, it's obvious.
Yeah. So you guys had all these situations, and there's things that happened that didn't really help your guys' case. Now another major thing that happened that again adds another layer to people assuming and thinking is today, was it? You ended up tweeting out.
Nah, it was yesterday.
Yesterday, you tweeted out Team of Two with Chloe.
Yeah.
Now, me as as someone who I always like to hear both sides. I like to talk to people before I have any kind of before I come to any conclusion. I like to talk to people like face to face or DMs, or actually hear what they have to say. For me, someone like that, when I see that, I'm like, bro, now this looks weird. Now this looks, you know what I mean? This looks like, why would you guys split up as a team after you just had this run? What's the reason for that?
Okay, well, what had happened after the Sunday, I was really, after we lost again 3-0, I was like, damn, that really sucks to think that I stayed up most of the night thinking like, hey, like, holy shit, this is my time to shine. Like, I went from like, hey, like, we're going to give it, we're going to try to get 32, and then we're going to fucking, win 16 and, maybe have a good fight for 8, to holy shit, I'm top 8 right now. I can maybe win the cup. I just beat the best team. I stayed up most of the night really like sitting there like, damn, I'm really in this position. I got to come crazy. So then after we get 6-0'd on stream, I'm like, damn, like we really like we got top 8, like hell yeah, that's dope. This is really big for us. But at the same time, it's like that's just not how I wanted it to go out. That's not how I wanted to end. I wanted to go out on a good note. But we ended up getting 6-0, and I was like, damn, this is really not. This Twitter is not going to respond well to this. Like this is going to blow up and really out of proportion, I think.
So is it safe to say that you guys decided to split up because of purely like you don't want to be in a situation where people think, well, that's the team that cheats, that's the team that hacks, or people think that's the team that hacks? Like, is that why you decided to, hey, you know what? Maybe it's just better we go our separate ways?
Well, at that moment, it already come down to the next day. It'd been about, I don't know how long it was, like, since we had beat Yeez, and then we were first getting really hard accused, but it had been some time. And after we lost, obviously Twitter was blowing up. We were like, we were just sitting in our own chords, our own calls, just really sitting there thinking like, damn, I'm like, we just lost, whatever. And then that's when Twitter was blowing up. And then, we'd all went our separate ways for a few hours. But then me and Stookie were sitting there looking at Twitter. And then I remember Chloe ended up coming back and talking to me. Me and him, I know as soon as we lost, me and him started playing pubs together. We were just sitting there just talking about how the day went and just kind of reminiscing on the tournament. But we were going through Twitter, and we had noticed that Twitter was, mainly pointing out that Husk and Fishy were the ones doing it and that me or Chloe were good. And as the day went on, that came more apparent. And then there was a group chat that they're in, the T20 chat or whatever. And then they were also accusing them too. And then I just seen all of Twitter, really coming at them too. So at that point, me and Chloe kind of just stayed out of the crossfire. We were just like, we're just going to see like how things go down. We're just going to see what happens. And as the day went on, they just didn't back down. They kept coming at Husk and Fishy. They just kept, bombarding them with it. And I was like, and Husk was like, hey man, like I really don't want to sit on this. I don't want to wait. I want to, I want to get this out there and like go ahead and just look for like a new opportunity. Is that something you want to do? And I was like, yeah, man. Like, so at that point, we were kind of feeling the pressure from Twitter and all the people, because we were like, hey man, like we love you too. We think you guys are really good players, but like Twitter's really coming at you guys hard. I don't know who's going to want to play us. Like they might like blacklist us type of, they like, I don't know if we're going to get any games. Like everything we play is going to have to be monitor cam. Like we're always just going to have that stigma over our heads, and it just might hinder our careers more than this actually helped us. So what me and Chloe are going to do is, it really sucks that, Twitter is coming at you guys hard as they are, but me and Chloe really have to take this advantage of this opportunity and cement us into, get us out of the circle. So we're going to have to go look for our own opportunities. Maybe there will be some top AM teams that wanted to take a chance on us, or maybe there was 2 other really highly talented individuals that, had a name, had some points that wanted to give us a shot. And we just went out to go look for our own opportunities. And as bad as it was for them that, we wish, that things didn't happen the way that they did, but, we got 6-0 and we had to face the facts of that this is what was happening. Twitter was taking this, to the extent, they were just given the facts that we got 6-0 after stream, and they were just, just placing, going fucking all in on that. And they were just coming really hard at Husk and Fishy. And we were just like, we just don't want to be a part of this battle. We want to pursue our careers. We want to, use this as an advantage rather than a hindrance. And we just don't want to be, we want to let things die down before we even think about, teaming again or anything. We want you guys to go clear your names and then, get that shit settled, and then maybe we can try it again.
In your opinion, do you think that they were doing anything fishy, anything weird?
Now, I still don't want to try to say that I'm picking sides, and I still want to say as mutual in the situation as possible. But what I think is that I know that when I play the tournament, I know that I was good, and I think Twitter thinks I'm good. I know, and then when some people were coming at Chloe, not too many people. I was like Chloe's, I know Chloe. Like Chloe's a great guy, and I just don't think he'd do that. And you can really, when you go back and watch it, you can really just hear how much he wanted that win. And then I've played with Husk the previous years. I always thought Husk was a good player. I was really excited to be team of two with him for Saturday. I was even talking to my current team, like, hey, can we get this guy on our team? Like, I know we have a team, but I really think this guy is going to be like I know he's a good player, and I've even scrimmed with him this game. I know he's passionate, and I know he was just on a really good team. He's got a belt, a bad hand of cards. And I was like, I want to try something with this guy. And they were like, so then when I went team of two with him, and then I forgot where I was going with that actually. Well,
I get what you're saying. So, man, it's unfortunate that, and I even tweeted, I commented on one of your guys' posts. I said, if this is legit, if what you guys did is 100% legit, it's a damn shame, because if it's real, you guys are going to be accused of doing some fishy shit.
And
right?
and what's crazy to me is that because me and Chloe sat in a call with some of our friends, and we were sitting there, we were really like, man, how do we tweet out that we're trying to do our own thing without making it seem bad? And then we had got it, and we wanted to do it be as mutual as possible. We didn't want to say that we're throwing them under the bus, and then we didn't want to be like, yeah, like we didn't want to defend them, because the people, at that point we were just like, we really don't know what to think. We just know that we got top 8. We know that we're good. We know that Twitter thinks we're good, and we're just gonna, just go with that, and we're just gonna see how things play out and go from there.
So what's next for you, bro? What's the next move?
I tweeted team of two with Chloe, did that tweet, and we did a lot of thinking, and I'm still, me and Chloe are still looking at opportunities. I'm still, we're still open to our own free agent things. If any, somehow some top team sees this and, they're interested in taking a chance in us, we'd love to take that opportunity, or if any great players. But when we tweeted team of two, we I'd got a good handful of offers, more than I've gotten all year. And that was nice to see that, because it takes me back to my land days, back when I was winning the lands, and everybody's like, oh, you want a team for land? To now that I was tweeting free agent, and nobody was really hitting me up, to now that I have a DM, full of people like, hey man, like let's play, and it was like, now people are finally like getting it, or maybe they're just here for the points or whatever. But anyway, we'd done some thinking, and we were like, hey, really this team is a once in a lifetime team. Like that team was maybe like that team really was like just what it was. Like maybe this is a real thing. And then like what happened was just crazy in that, because I remember when I had streamed back in Cold War, when Wiz first accused me of hacking, when I had streamed my first game back, I admitted it. I was nervous. The first time I was ever accused, and it was like hard accusations, and I had so many people watching me. I was on Twitter, and everyone was like, like really coming hard at me. And I remember playing that game, and and COD's a mental game, man. I was in my head. I went from like, we're beating this fucking team, I'm the king of the world, to like, damn, bro, like everybody's really discrediting me. And it really got to me. And then, so when these guys were like, hey, like, man, like because I talked to Huss afterwards, and I was like, yo, like, talked about the game a little bit, because I wanted to talk about like what happened, like, because we went from being a really good team to just getting 6-0. And I was like, listen, guys, I was like, I know the streams are on and all this shit, and I just want to know, like, what do you think we did? And Husk was like, man, like that was just a lot of pressure for me. He's like, I went from having to just worry about my gameplay and worry about doing what's best for my team, no matter what happens. Like if I get shit on, I get turned on, I kill myself, I team kill, nobody says anything, to I have 200 people watching me, my first game of the day on not good maps, to just having all this pressure on me at once. And it was my first time having this much pressure, and I just couldn't handle that pressure, and it just made me just not perform as well as I did and as comfortable as I did Saturday. And I was like, you know what, man, I get that, bro. 100%. I've been in your shoes. I get that. And I was like, I do feel bad for what's happening, man, but like that's just how Twitter is. And like he understands, and it upsets him, but that's just how it is. But so me and Chloe had talked about team of two, and like I said, we're still looking for opportunities. Any top AM team, whatever, wants to take a chance on us. But what we had tweeted the team of two, we looked at all of our options, and we're actually going to be going in to this next cup as of now with this team. It's supposed to be me, Chloe. I think it's game lock. Yeah, it's lock. And I think he got 64. He lost to Blake Daz on them, the guys we lost. He's gonna be our third. And then we were like, hey, you know what? Now this next fourth, I was kind of waiting to announce it on the podcast. We're actually going to be picking up Husk again as our fourth.
All right, there you go.
And I know people are going to be like, well, why don't you play with Fish as your fourth instead of Lock? Yeah. And that makes it probably look even worse for him. And that's not how I want it to be portrayed. I think Fish is still a great player, and I still think it's really unfortunate what happened to him. But I feel like Locke on this unit, as this team or whatever, is what's gonna help us be more consistent. He's just gonna be that piece that's gonna make us the championship team. And we were like, hey, with Husk, like me and Chloe both think he played really well Saturday, and Sunday was just unfortunate. And I know that Husk has played really well in the past few years online. And I was like, hey, if this guy isn't hacking, we're going to make him monitor cam and stream everything from scrims to fucking, if we do 8s to tournaments to wagers, whatever he does, like he's going to have to stream, and he's going to have to record it, and he's going to have to monitor cam. And he agreed to that. And we were like, all right, man, if you're not hacking and you're actually like the player that you are on Saturday, like we're going to be a crazy team. Like me and Chloe, we're good. We know we're good players. We got Locke, who has the points. I think, I've played with him for a few days now in search, and I think he's going to be a great add-on to the team. And like I said, if Husk isn't hacking and if he's ready to prove to the community that he's the player that he is. And I was like, hey, this is a way to give you a chance to really come back and, tell people that, hey, you're not hacking. And, like it's a win-win for us, I think, in my mind, because if he streams and, he's not hacking and he still does really well, then, we still have a really solid player who has points, who I like playing with, who I did really well with, and who I've always done really well with. And then, if he is hacking and he's not performing well and people are still calling him out, then we simply just, get a new fourth. We just say, okay, like, sorry, man, it's just not working out. And we just get a new fourth.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a pretty solid plan. Listen, man, at the end of the day, like I said, it's unfortunate if what you guys did is 100% legit. It's unfortunate that we're in a state where COD, doesn't have an anti-cheat, so there's really no way to prove things, right? Unless there's evidence. You gotta have evidence. And this is for anybody listening. If you think about accusing somebody, or you think someone's cheating, or you can have that opinion, but before you go public with it, you gotta have some evidence. You can't just say I think and have nothing to show for it. Like you gotta have it. If no evidence, no case. That's just what it is. That's just the way it has to be. Otherwise, it literally it could be you. You could have one good series in 8, or in a cup, or even just a normal Twitter tournament. All it takes is one person to say they think you're hacking, and you could be fucked. Absolutely fucked. And especially now, and I don't blame you guys for having that mindset of, hey, if people think that we're cheating, or people are accusing us of cheating, maybe we should just separate, because what's the point of you'd rather play and lose, but people not have this negative mindset and negative notion of you guys, which would down the line eventually ruin some possible opportunities. So it's unfortunate that a Fishity kid is kind of being put in an awkward position. And hey, in my advice to him is just prove it. Go keep playing, keep competing.
And I think he's a great player, and I think he played really well with us, and I liked vibing with him. I just think that as a teammate, and what we need to be a better team from what I've seen, and because I've been in the scene for a really long time, and I've been around a lot of different people and on a lot of different teams, just constantly through the cycle of trying different things. And after a while, you can really tell who really wants it in this scene, who wants to absolutely go the furthest, who wants to win these cups, who wants to make this a fucking reality, make this everything, become true, or this team that's just hoping that we get a fucking an easy 64 we don't get hacked on, and then hoping we don't have to play the fucking best team for 32. And then if we beat them, my God, we get their bracket, and we'll hell yeah, we might get T16, but we're not going to get top 8 that weekend. It's just a team that's praying, just praying for bracket blesses. Like, it's not a team that's like, hey, we're going to be, play to be the best. We're going to play to beat the best, and that's how we're going to do it. We're not going to fucking rely on points. We're not going to rely on the fucking the RNG of the bracket. We're not going to rely on just hoping that we play some team that just doesn't give a fuck for 32, and then that we get passionate 16 match and win that. No, I feel like the players that I've surrounded myself with now are individuals who want it more than anybody I've ever played with. And I just feel like this group of 4 individuals are people who truly deserve like what's happening right now. And it's just unfortunate how things ended up, but that's just how shit is. But I'd like to go into this next cup with this team. If we don't get any, crazy opportunities, I'd like to go in this next cup with this next team and really show to people like we're here to, be the best. We're here to beat the best, and we're here to stay. Hopefully we get some good practice coming up for the cup. But if not, it's just how it is.
Well, man, like I said, I think you guys have the right attitude, bro. Head down, grind. Ignore the shit talk. It's gonna happen, and you just know more people are gonna be watching you guys this next cup. Now you guys are gonna have a little bit of a target on your back, and people are gonna want to quote make an example of you guys. So practice and the preparation leading up to the next cup is gonna you guys are gonna have to be on your shit because people are gonna want to take you down, and they're gonna want to make clips of you guys and call you the cheaters, and you guys got a bullseye in the back of on your back. So hope you guys are ready.
100%. I just hope that doesn't hinder our practice like we were hoping it would. And I hope we're still that. I hope we realize, or that some of these top teams realize that, hey, if these guys, regardless if they were not hacking, like this might be a good team to play against and really like see if they're good or not. And if they're not, like whatever, like that's even more proof against them. But if they are a good team, it'll be some good practice. And I'm hoping some of these teams will allow us to scrim against them this week. So we'll have, some good, like a good, set up, some good strategies, good game, quality practice. Like I said before, going into this next cup, and not just some random matches or people saying, "Oh no, we don't want to practice against cheaters," and then just not get anything productive going for the next 2 weeks.
Well, bro, if you guys have, especially with the cup, if you guys have any kind of, decent run, I think you guys can really help your guys' case and solidify that it wasn't a fluke. But at the end of the day, bro, it's just people want to give you a chance, take it. If they don't want to give you a chance, just keep doing what you guys are doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And if you know and you're comfortable with your gameplay and you know that you did nothing wrong, that's all you can do, bro. Don't chase anybody's, especially COD players. Don't chase anybody's approval and anybody's praise, because even if you're winning every cup, it's people are gonna hate on you no matter what. And for you guys, you got for what you guys did and beating a lot of these top teams, and the way it looks and the layers of, well, this looks weird, this person was playing weird, or tweeting out you gotta ignore all that shit and just go into the upcoming cup and just grind your ass off. And hey, like I said, I want to thank you for coming on here, bro, because you could have easily said no. You could have said no. You didn't have to come on here and show your face and talk to the people who listen to this podcast. But I think it shows your character, and it shows that you're not hiding from anything. You're willing to talk about it. You're willing to express how you feel and address some of the questions surrounding your guys' run. So I want to thank you for coming on here, bro. I want to wish you luck in the next cup, and I hope I'm gonna be watching, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people watching. So you got any last words?
I just want to thank you for having me out here, man, and speak my piece. I really hope that some people see this and really realize like the situation for what it is, and realize that we're just a bunch of kids with a dream, and we're willing to put our lives on the line for this dream, and we're just doing whatever it takes. And for us to actually finally start seeing some results and seeing some some progress. And, after going from the T64 cycle every fucking, other weekend for 2 years to finally having a breakthrough and being, feeling like the top of the world, and you just beat some of the best. It's just, we're just out here living the dream, man. We're just out here playing the game. We're having fun and just hoping that one day we can make this reality. And we're just a bunch of kids with a dream, man.
True,
So,
yeah,
but I just want
like
to thank
that.
you for having me out here, man.
Hey, no problem, bro. I appreciate you. Listen, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Shout out, make sure you guys go follow Logan Prodigy at Logan Prod. His name is right on the screen. Go ahead and hit him up on Twitter. Drop him a follow. You guys, I appreciate you guys checking out this episode. It's 2 episodes in 1 week. I've had a lot of free time in my hands this last weekend. So, like I said, I want to keep giving you guys these interviews. Maybe, some solo episodes of me just talking shit. Regardless, I appreciate everyone who tuned into the stream. Like I said, you guys want to help the podcast? Like, share, subscribe, rate it on iTunes, rate it on Spotify. Drop a follow on